birthday, but that one's just like, no, that one's collecting dust somewhere in its box.
No,
but
it's here.
Futaba one, you're like,
no, it's here.
Oh no, I'm for your master. Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, I brought it with me.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Why would I leave that behind?
I don't know. I just kind of got that for you out of a whim, so I'm glad you actually held on to it.
Why would I get rid of it?
I don't know.
Just don't get rid of my
I
gifts.
didn't really put a whole lot of thought into it. I was just like, he's really into Persona 4 right now. I'm just going to look at what kind of figures they got for that. And like, ooh, this Izanagi one's cool, and the price is within the range that I'm cool with spending for a friend's birthday.
The Gengar glass ball's also on display.
Really?
So, yeah, because I was able to.
Actually, that one I was perfectly content with you kind of keeping to the side because I knew that your cat would knock shit over.
Oh yeah, I'm really mad about my cat right now because she knocked down my Normandy.
Oh, that sucks. Is it okay?
No. It's not.
Oh, that hurts me. I love that thing.
I know, me too. But the Gengar I have on it's on a shelf that she doesn't really get to, and so it's all good now.
Well, that's cool. I didn't actually know that you kept those to actually decent regard, so glad to hear it.
Man, Ryan, also we're as you can see we're good now. You can see the screen, right?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Also, I have 1 HP. That's right. I died. Also, what was I gonna say? If only there was like a way to like fast travel. Oh, there's a guy here.
I don't know. I mean, I'm probably fine with just switching sub. Oh shit. I'm perfectly fine with switching subjects and just focus on the game, but we were talking about gifts I got for you over the years.
Oh no, sorry. What I was gonna say was, I would have been absolutely content of like finding a way to, like, if my only options in life were, like, whenever I moved into the house out of the apartment, was to either move everything myself, which would have been impossible. Oh, I should not have done that. Oh, thank God. Or get movers or pay for you to fly here for whether or not it was a day, 2 days, it doesn't matter how long, and just have you move with like all the stuff with me again. Yeah, instead of doing the moving services, I totally would have done that. Because these movers, I don't know how, but the fact that me and you were able to move cross country, over the course of 2 days, get everything unloaded, like loaded up, get it unloaded with basically 0 damage.
I thought that one of your walls, but
that's fine. And the fact
that may have partially broke one of your benches, the bench that went to your dining room table.
No, I think that was just fabric. Like the fabric didn't tear or anything. I think it was just because it was new. I don't know.
No, dude, that sounded really loud.
It did, yeah, but no, I've looked at it. It's fine. But
I was scared shitless. I'm honestly really glad to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But like the fact that we were able to do that with 0 problems, and then I got the movers to move all my stuff not even 10 minutes down the road, and they broke they broke a piece of my coffee table off, and then they broke my desk, which we didn't have at the time, and I have at the time, is just is just mind-boggling. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I felt bad just for the slight damage that I caused.
Yeah. It was so slight. So like not even that big of a deal.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I mean, that really sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just like, come on, guys. You guys are professional movers. Also, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but their for like their damage policy, they pay based off the weight of the object that was broken, not even current value.
That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand how you equate money to weight. Like, what is the?
So you break a diamond ring, you get $1 back, but you break a fucking anvil.
Yeah.
That's when they start paying the big bucks.
Yeah, that's when they start paying the big bucks. So.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm doing it. Oh, I think I screwed that one up.
You seem to be getting better at these action commands.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I was prepared to make fun of it for at least a good while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I guess I just need. I guess I just need a little bit extra time in the. I'm also kind of favoring the jump over the hammer. Pretty much for the same reason, just so I can keep practicing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I will eventually get badges.
Yeah.
That will increase my jumps.
Oh, dude. So I kind of messed up. I was watching some Toy Story earlier. And of fucking course, I'm sitting there and I watched the first movie and I'm just like, God damn it, where are my old toys?
You gonna play with some toys? Or are you just gonna look at them?
Shamelessly, yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what? I think that gets some of it well deserved hate and ribbing. But honestly, like it's just a creative outlet, especially if they're posable. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, okay, so like genuinely playing with them, that's a little difficult to do. Like, because playing with them always kind of means to me that you set up a scenario and have them like be the hero and save the day and all that other shit.
Yeah.
Me, I just kind of looked at it and go and just kind of remember the good times and call that good.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just kind of looked at them like, oh, good, they're still in decent condition.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Oh god, I remember one of my old toys got chewed up by my dog, and that just made me all sorts of sad.
Yeah.
And you can imagine, I'm very protective of them from my brother.
Oh yeah.
Because like, the first thing he does is stop them. Yeah, I've had a few favorites.
Wow.
You lost for that reason. I used to have a toy Moltres, a stuffed animal Moltres. Pokemon toy.
Yeah.
And I still have it, but it has a hollow belly because my brother tore open its belly and started taking stuffing out.
That sucks.
Fuck.
I can't remember the other one. There's an. I think. Oh, maybe I did. Oh, shoot. I feel like I should go back and get mushrooms.
Yeah, probably. Since the last stream, you literally ended with you dying.
Yeah, I mean, I was at 1 HP to be fair.
Still.
it go?
That they were at 1 HP means you need mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh, I have the key. I don't know if I should, we'll try the boss. I mean, the Koopa Bros are fairly simple to take care of.
No, I certainly hope you're right.
It took me 2 attempts on my first time.
2 attempts?
Yeah, because, well, it's because I tried to use, Goombario to tattle. So I can see their HP, but it just ended up kind of wasting too many turns.
Are you going to do that now?
I'll try it the first time.
You never learn.
Nope. Well, it's going to be
Andrew,
interesting.
the best way is to be wildly ignorant about everything.
Well, what's going to be even more stressful in the 1,000-Year Door is when they introduce like the counterattacks.
Yeah.
So then I have to make the choice between counterattack or or just regular defending.
Let me know if those wind chimes are kind of a problem. I'm probably fine with taking those down.
Oh shoot, yeah, that's fine.
You know what's funny is I can kind of vouch for you because I can hear your button presses
Uh-huh.
on your mic.
Oh yeah.
So I am listening to them, just going like, no, he kind of hit that. I don't know why that for some reason didn't count.
It's a little, to be fair, it is a little tight.
Yeah, a little. I think you are kind of just, maybe you're kind of favoring the end of the window instead of the front.
Yeah, it's probably that. Whenever I was practicing with Twink, I was definitely, actually, I think I was a little early on them.
What's funny is that I've been so long since I played Paper Mario that I can't even tell you. It's like, oh, Andrew, you're doing shitty when I don't even know how well I did when I played it.
But that's like the best way to criticize.
Wildly ignorant based on nothing of my own skill.
Yeah. I'll be real though. Like I was watching a lot of Strider X7 videos before this, and I was like, man, he makes it look so easy. I was thinking I could do that. I can't. I can't do that.
You can't.
I was watching a bunch of compilations of vanilla Persona 5 of just like streamers reacting to various things. One of them was like Shiho's suicide attempt. Oh man. Oh, this, and I was just like kind of thinking, and I was like kind of, I don't know. It was like just looking at their reactions, and I'm like, yeah, like that was. And I think like thinking my first reaction, I was like, yeah, that was pretty wild, just for a Persona game to kind of start off like that.
Yeah.
It's not something that you'd expect. I think they handled it pretty well.
Oh, I think they handled it fine, but to be kind of blunt, you know, you're playing a Persona game about kind of a...
Well, it starts off with you being...
just the day-to-day life of a high school boy, and you're sitting there and telling me that suicide is not going to be part of it, at least at some point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, this might just be the ignorant American side of things, but it's just like, come on, it's gotta be in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I gotta work better on my strategies when I fight these Koopa Troopas, especially when I get the first strike in. Oops.
Well, I mean, What's funny is it kind of came back to me how much I like the bomb.
Bombette.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just the concept of just like go over there and just explode on them.
Yeah,
This is always something I found really fun.
And I was talking to Joe about it. I don't know if we had talked about it, but he was asking me how I thought people
We're pretty bad remembering things.
Yeah, but he just asked me like, what did I think of Origami King and how it's gonna be kind of, like what the reaction is gonna be when it comes out. I told him like, all they said was I think that Nintendo needs to make it essentially a direct and just detail, not the direct, but per se, but like they just need to detail and like really go all
they're
in.
past due for a direct for a while.
Yeah, but like I was saying, like they just need to go in and fully explain the combat and how the combat works, and just basically like because that's the elephant in the room, in my opinion. It is.
Yeah, are you going to go back to the style that we've been praying for
I
a
mean,
while?
they showed like a small video of it, and it's a little puzzly, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Now, I do need to follow up with this.
Uh-huh.
The fact that they didn't show combat at all during that first trailer, does that bother?
Yeah, I guess like I didn't really think about it when I saw the trailer. I was more. It wasn't until I saw the actual combat video that I was like, oh yeah, they didn't really show combat. I mean, it looks like it's just like it looks like it's kind of going back. It's going through it like the trailer itself without the combat. I was like, okay, like it seems like they're kind of going back into a almost like the roots, like they're kind of going back to the roots of the series, like kind of dialogue and I guess just text wise.
Perhaps.
I mean, that was the announcement trailer. I think the combat is something that you would definitely something you would talk about later. Like when you get kind of closer to it, you'd probably want to go into detail about the combat. I do think they need to go talk about the combat and how it works, because you know that is the elephant in the room.
Well, I will say I think that the audience is more ready for the Paper Mario game than it was for that one that came out for Wii U that I keep forgetting the name of.
Color Splash? Shoot.
Color Splash. Even that's kind of inspired. But yeah, Color Splash.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one just kind of came out, people were just like, eh. And then it got like, response.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a really.
I think it's already a good sign that people are talking about Origami King. Already.
Yeah.
It's already like a more enthusiastic response than
and I think
ever got.
Yeah, and I think that the trailer was really effective in that. Just because like it starts off pretty dark, like kind of creepy, and then Origami Peach comes out, and immediately you're just like, what is happening?
Well, you immediately understand that clearly origami is different than paper.
Yeah.
Whatever causes origami to happen,
mm-hmm.
Is some kind of weird, almost borderline alien kind of influence.
Yeah.
And while Origami Peach might not be coming from original Peach, original paper Peach.
Yeah.
It's it like we already understand like that's not Peach.
Yeah.
Whether it's something imposing as Peach or something that took over Peach, it's not Peach.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever origami characters we're going to meet from this point forward, except for probably the Origami King, it seems like that's going to be kind of like your companion throughout this story.
Yeah.
For my guess. So it seems like it almost kind of seems like a Twilight Princess kind of thing where the prince or princess, king, queen, whatever the fuck, is actually a good guy, but some kind of maleficent force like took over their kingdom and is now expanding to yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested to see that. It seems like they're kind of taking a page out of Thousand Year Door with that, where the Shadow Queen or whatever her name was took over Peach's body.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, it's definitely not a deciding factor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always a sucker for a game that has Bowser as a protagonist.
Yeah, looks like he's
Not
going to be
necessarily,
folded for a majority of it, but I am interested that it looks like Bowser Jr. is going to be more in that the traditional Paper Mario Bowser role.
That might be cool with me. I'm just going to have to see.
Oh, that guy was really slow.
Because I kind of just dodged, Color Splash completely.
Yeah.
It always seemed like something I would go back to, but it just never did.
Mm-hmm.
And based on people's reactions and how quickly forgettable it was, I'm probably never going to.
Mm-hmm.
My Wii U remains completely disconnected in a bag somewhere.
Yeah.
And do I have ever any intent of reconnecting it? I have no clue.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I started unhooking some old consoles from my TV and from my entertainment center, which is kind of defeats like the kind of like the whole reason why I got
Why you bought two hubs of HDMI ports?
Yeah, the HDMI splitters, and
Uh-huh.
I mean they're still in use, but now my TV has 4 ports, so like they're not as heavily used. I'm still going to keep them for whenever I do go back to my older consoles. But like I figured like I'm not playing the Wii U anytime soon. There's no reason to go back to the Wii U for the most part. I mean that was kind of it. So I just started like I unplugged like the NES Classic because I was like I haven't played this since I bought it. So
that's just kind of funny. I haven't played mine in a while either.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually got nostalgic and started playing a couple games on it before we went on stream.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll admit I feel the same way. I kind of hooked it up for my dad to play, but he hasn't really used it.
Yeah.
Because he always tells me that like the game that he enjoyed playing when he was around my age was Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, this has Legend of Zelda on it. You should totally, give it a shot.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be therapeutic in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But for reasons I'm not going to get into on stream, he just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, well, I set this up in the living room for you to use.
Mm-hmm.
I kept the Super NES Classic system in my room.
Okay.
And honestly, even that I don't really play much. It's kind of just for the same reason. Like I just feel nostalgic.
Yeah, fair
I'll
enough.
load it up, play like 5 minutes of a few games. As soon as I die because it sucks now, I'm just like, next game.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't look down at the screen for a while now.
Uh-huh.
And I should totally be acknowledging the fact that you're fighting a giant Bowser puppet.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you imitate the king. I like that. Bowser, question mark, question mark, question mark. Especially since, you fight Bowser in the tutorial.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in the prologue would be the best way of saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. And you're using charge very Persona style.
Yeah, I should stop doing that though. Oh god.
Is it not working out for you?
No, it's not that it's not working out. It's just I don't want to run out of my FP for the second phase.
Mm-hmm. You actually remember there was a second phase.
Yeah, you gotta fight. I mean, 10 HP is way too easy to be the first boss. The first real boss, at least. I thought the game froze for a second.
God, I love these guys. I like the Koopa Power Rangers. I love.
Oh boy. Oh, I forgot. I think I'm supposed to jump on them. Or maybe I'm supposed to use the hammer.
Sure about that?
It could have been the hammer.
You're dying.
Yeah, it's not looking too good.
It's looking pretty shit.
Give me their individual HP, please, Goombario. Oh, they figured out. Okay, this is not good.
And yay! Well, Andrew, you were given a gift. Are you going to squander it or what?
I'm gonna try not to. Goombario, are you gonna be useful? Sweet. I would do a little bit of Thunderbolt.
I mean, not bad, but I am a little disappointed that I only hit one of them.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna hit all of them. I'll use the Fire Flower next. Oh, they're back up.
Okay, take him out.
Shoot.
Oh boy. Okay.
Hey, sweet.
Oh, that was awesome. Okay.
Oh, sweet. They don't attack me individually. Well.
Well.
Also, I think I didn't save it, so I think I gotta fight the cannons again. I think I gotta fight the cannons again.
You were this close to not sucking.
Yeah, I was hoping the Lucky Badge would save me. Yeah, I do.
I mean, it did once.
Yeah.
What else did you expect from the Lucky Badge?
Let's get a charge ready.
You can't perform miracles. Oh shit, it doesn't even save your tattles?
No.
Does it work like Goombella in the next game where it's like it saves it like in a logbook?
No, it does not. I don't think that's until.
Oh. Well, that was pretty demasculating right there.
Yeah. I gotta switch over to Bombette.
So it's only vulnerable to hammer?
He has defense.
Oh.
He has. They have one defense. Oh, so I could charge. So I could charge.
You can't do just one damage to them.
Yeah, I have to do at least 2.
In which case, it reduces itself to 1.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But I can't do a power jump.
These are kind of decent level grinds.
Not really.
Well, they keep creating.
Oh yeah, I guess if I were to keep them
bombs,
alive. Yeah, if I were to keep them alive, I need mushrooms though because it is just a battle of attrition.
That's true, but it's just like, you know, you want more than 10 star badges per fight. And this is a good way to go.
Yeah, it's just like I do you do realize pretty quickly that the game quickly will remove like the return on star points like lessens very quickly. It's like when you first if you were to like see what the star points I get from killing one Koopa Troopa, and then you compare that to the star points I get for killing one Koopa Troopa once I get access to the fortress, you'll see like, oh, I'm not getting nearly as many star points as I did. Actually, hang on.
So you leveled up now, which is good. So before you start the boss fight, is there any means in which you can grind out an extra level, or you just kind of screw with what you got?
No, you just kind of have what you have. Let's do hammer throw. Actually, let me. What was I gonna tell you?
No, I was talking about levels with you.
No, it's about Origami King. Oh yeah, so like what I was saying. So I know I talked to you about this with the what looks to be like the companion characters. I'm really bummed out. Like it looks like they're gonna have personality, which is cool. It just sucks that the characters are just Bob-omb, Koopa Troopa. Like that's what kind of sucks.
Oh, you don't have a Koopa.
Yeah, like you just have
Your little Goomba boy there.
Yeah, so it just looks like they don't have. It doesn't look like they're gonna have names. Is my problem with it.
Yeah, I'll admit that kind of sucks.
And part of and while like they could have a cool personality, and that's gonna end up being like, man, these characters are funny. My problem is coming from like a standpoint of, but how hard would it be to just give them a name? They don't have to have a fancy design, but like look at Bombette, like she's memorable, not just because of her personality, but like also she's different than other Bob-ombs.
They made her pink.
And that also,
which is kind of a staple for a while for good Bob-ombs.
Yeah. And now what I'm wondering, like I'm thinking, do you think that the reason they don't have like actual character names is because you're not going to keep them for like throughout the entire game? Like you're going to have Bob-omb for that chapter.
I'm suspecting.
Because
I'm suspecting that I'm a little worried those going to be a pseudo persona system where it's like you recruit what you defeat.
No, it doesn't look like that because you meet Bob-omb on the train. And he's just like he's just a passenger.
I guess about that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe, but it still doesn't really understand the point where even if you were a chatter, I don't know why they didn't give him a personality.
Yeah. It just seems kind of weird that they're only going halfway. You're cutting out.
Okay. Am I getting a little better?
Yeah.
Or is it still choppy?
No, you're good now.
Okay. It always sucks when there's always those things where it's like people are kind of irrational when they're like, oh, I want this game to go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like kind of an obscure way and there's no way they'd ever do that.
Yeah.
But I do think it's pretty different when we're just like, we just want the shit that worked in the past games.
Yeah, like just do that.
like feel free to experiment. Just build off of the shit that we've outspokenly said works.
Yeah, what? So, um,
so it just it's not that odd. And it seems like a lot of games do that.
yeah, it's like I'm not asking for like
Because
like a dark and edgy Paper Mario game. I just want what they did in this one and in Thousand Year Door.
it's just weird. Because it's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe everyone says this, but I never really feel like I'm asking too much
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to like my anticipated games.
Yeah.
And I try not to be too disappointed when it just doesn't happen to work out.
Uh-huh.
But it is jarring when they're just like, we decided to do away with like the one thing about the past game that people really liked.
Yeah.
And now we're trying this new thing.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like the only thing that really saves Super Paper Mario from being outright hated is the characters and like the story and the plot and stuff.
True though. The 3D mechanic was also pretty interesting
The Paper Jam?
for what it was.
I just don't understand. Like Nintendo
I
has
have
this
a weird opinion when it comes to Super Paper Mario.
Nintendo has this really bad habit, and honestly, like you see it kind of manifest itself in Thousand Year Door a little bit, where you have Paper Mario and this one, but then you have to go through a lot of text by the time you get to like when you compare it to this one and you compare it to Thousand Year Door. It takes a long time for you to start the like to get to like the tutorial on like just the basics of battling, and then they immediately teach you the action commands in Thousand Year Door. So like there's a little bit of like some things you can kind of compare between the two. But I feel like as like whenever you have like a sequel to a game, like a first party Nintendo game, the sequel always ends up being more and more text heavy.
Like it constantly is in need of explaining itself.
Yeah, and and it's like, guys, like it's Paper Mario. Like, come on, it doesn't need that much explanation. Or the Mario and Luigi series definitely feels that way when you compare Superstar Saga to the Dream one.
Partners in Time?
No, the
Dream. You mean Dream Team?
Dream Team, where it's just like I could not finish Dream Team. Like I just couldn't. I was like,
reluctantly finished it.
And part of it was just the tutorials. It was like, why are there so many tutorials?
I think I texted you out of rage.
Yeah.
About Dream Team.
Yeah, you
don't get me wrong. I was definitely not in a good place mentally when I played Dream Team. But I feel like on top of that, I texted you just going like, this game fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And here's why. I will say I am kind of proud of myself that I did this. I did end up finishing it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I took the easiest route I could.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept powering through it. I don't care. Keep going. Just like, oh, this is the boss. Cool. I don't care. Just go.
Yeah.
Fight. Win. I like, boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
I need another level. I don't care. We're powering through. Let's go.
And it sucks that the Mario and Luigi series is over. Like it's done. The people that made it, like, they don't have jobs anymore because the company shut down.
That does suck.
And like that really sucks because the Mario and Luigi series is so good.
I mean, my icon should probably indicate I have a weird love for Bowser's Inside Story.
Bowser's Inside Story is so good. That final boss theme is
beautiful.
beautiful.
I listened to it casually.
Yeah.
Like during my long commutes to work, I'm sometimes just blasting that shit.
So good.
And but the thing is, like, they made a remake, and I'm like, it really doesn't need it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's kind of like I understood the first one, Superstar Saga, got it.
Yeah, that deserved one.
Yeah, because you know it was on the Game Boy Advance, but you can.
Yeah.
I can. The only thing I can surmise is they re-released the first one,
Mm-hmm.
as like a test to be like, hey, are people still interested in this series? And I think that's kind of like the idea of re-releasing a game is like trying to figure out like because you could do all the surveys you want. Surveys mean nothing.
Because like the people whose opinions like matter are not going to participate in a fucking survey.
Well, you'd think that they would participate in the survey if you see like.
You think they would?
You think you think you would you think you would, but the only true way of figuring out if something is worth bringing back is to throw it back out there and seeing who buys it. That's why it's like I don't like with this whole Pokemon Gen 8 stuff. When I was telling when I talked to you about it, I was like telling you the Pokemon subreddit was having their meltdown. And I actually had to unsubscribe from it because it was just ridiculous. I was like, well, each and every one of these people are gonna buy the game anyway. And they can complain and complain all they want. And Nintendo's going to see those complaints. Maybe they're sweating a little bit because they're like, oh man, we may have really screwed up and we're past the point of no return. We can't change. We just can't add these Pokemon, right? So now you just wait for the day that it comes out, and then it's like the highest selling Pokemon game of all time. It's like, well, you guys, like, it doesn't matter. Now you just told Nintendo it does not matter what we do. Because you're going to buy the game regardless.
That's true. I'm not going to lie, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're deciding to go the DLC route instead of making a third Phase 2 game to this generation.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm going to feel obligated to get it.
Yeah.
Right, I got the game. I have a team that I'm proud of, and I want to use them to do whatever stuff that this DLC has included.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't lie, though. I can honestly say this: if they released a Phase 2 game in the traditional style that they've been,
like this
probably would not get it.
Like this was the Emerald version.
If they released essentially an Emerald version and it had nothing that was interesting to me, I would not get it.
Okay.
I would, that's how I would vote. I would say I am disappointed.
What if it was the same exact game, but but they added all Pokemon from both versions to it?
Wouldn't that change anything?
It wouldn't change anything? Oops.
I won't lie. Like something has to change here, and I'm like, I played Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed.
Okay.
It was fun for because everything I found nice about Sword and Shield was like, I look forward to seeing what they eventually do with it.
Yeah.
But this sucks.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I know we've talked about this a lot. They're not going to do anything with Gigantamax or whatever the other thing's called, because they introduced new mechanics to the game, and then the next game they're like, okay, well, no more of that.
Yeah, it's actually very demoralizing.
The only thing that I can think of is that they're just so determined that they're like. And I know I've told you, I probably sound like a broken record to you because I've talked to you about it, but about this all the time. But like, the way I see it is, kids are forever. There are always going to be kids, and so what's it matter what these 30, 40-year-olds think about what we're doing with the series, because they're severely outnumbered by the millions of kids that are going to buy this game anyway.
And I agree. Like, I'm perfectly content with there being a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to hold on to the Pokemon I know and love, and I'm done with it.
I don't know why I did that. Uh-huh.
Like, I am fine leaning to that side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people are, but that's not me.
Yeah.
So I guess this is just kind of like, my passive might as well be nothing warning that, to be honest, if Gen 9 isn't top notch, I'm probably done.
Oh, so you don't think you're gonna go for Gen 9?
They're going to have to really prove themselves.
Okay.
And
I think, in my opinion, as someone who does not really play Pokemon games,
mm-hmm.
I know people are really mad about the, like, what was it called, the Pokemon, the Pokédex not being, I guess, quote unquote complete for this one. And I kind of get it.
That annoyed me, but I kind of got over it.
Yeah, like I get it to an extent, because I could not imagine having to. It kind of does put it limits what you're able to do with new Pokemon in a way, because now you're stuck trying to figure out, well, how do I bring the old guys back, and then figure out how I'm gonna modernize them, and then bring in new Pokemon. But now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to kind of stop you right there,
Uh-huh.
because that's kind of bullshit. And I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't valid.
Uh-huh.
But it's because past generations handled this already.
Uh-huh.
They handled it by prioritizing their generation's Pokemon during the main game,
mm-hmm.
and then expanding upon the others in the post game. And so on.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm saying is they already handled this shit.
Yeah.
And I call bullshit that,
mm-hmm.
Even though this is like a very mild generation, being Gen 8 of additions, like, you can't tell me that the Switch, the fucking Nintendo Switch,
you
couldn't
can't handle
that much more Pokemon than what the fucking 3DS managed to swing. Even if you push it to its limits, the fact that the 3DS swung it with very little problems.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problems I heard about with the 3DS is freaking double battles with with Pokemon with big animations.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that as Koopa Unbound. Koopa Unbound has like 6 disembodied arms that it has to individually animate.
Okay.
And that's the Pokemon that really pushes the limit in what the 3DS can render all at once.
Okay.
It's 4 of them on screen at once.
Mm-hmm.
I buy that is hard to do.
I think invisible block. I think I think I kind of like what their plan for the future games is going to be, where they're gonna basically like pick and choose which previous Pokemon are going to be returning. Okay, I think like that's kind of cool. Like I think I could stand by that. That doesn't seem outrageous.
So I can be how do I explain this to myself? I can be talked into agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah, so it's like I was saying, Ryan. See, like I killed one of the Koopa Troopas, and now it only gave me 1 star point. So like that's how the game kind of.
Yeah, there's diminishing returns.
Yeah, but even though I was fighting them like in the tower.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know why I did that.
So you were definitely not going to gain another level before that Koopa. Broke.
No, that's how the game kind of limits it. So it kind of makes fighting pointless.
Fair enough. I was just curious because I can see that if you just leveled up more and threw it into your health, you would have swung through that fight with absolutely no problems at all.
Yeah,
even though you kind of did it like pretty easily on your own as is.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know how it actually works, but I wouldn't be surprised if it kept track of how many enemies you've defeated of each type, and then based star points off that.
I would say it's probably a level thing. The enemies are a certain level, you're a certain level, and when that as the wider spread that becomes, the more minimalistic the return.
Yeah.
Um, so, going back to the previous point, Gen 9 does not need to do much to win me back.
Okay.
I will admit that.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have to do much. But it does need to do more than what I saw here.
What's that? What's it have to do?
So I can be talked into not the entire Pokédex coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pokemon that are there better have different sprites that's more animated and more personality, displayed in them.
Mm-hmm.
The characters better be more likable. The adventure better be more compelling. The combat better be, the graphics better be better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I call bullshit as to the reasons why they cut the Pokédex here.
Uh-huh.
I'd be more fine with the state of Sword and Shield as it is right now if it had the entire Pokédex.
Uh-huh.
I'd be fine calling it basically just a demo in practice.
Uh-huh.
If it basically means, that the next generations are going to be this but better.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't do that.
Yeah.
Instead, it cut the Pokédex and gave us a mediocre experience.
Uh-huh.
The story was shit. The player models were shit. The sprites were shit.
Mm-hmm.
The wild area was disappointing. A lot of people like the wild area. I personally don't.
That's the online one where it just starts chugging.
The wild area was stupidly disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
At least to me. I will preface that this is just me.
Yeah.
And the big reason as to why that is for me is because when I was just reading, watching the trailers and stuff, I thought the wild area was going. How do I explain this? So I thought the wild area was going to be everywhere that the routes don't encompass.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this meant that you can go off route anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
but then you enter the wild area, and that comes with pros and cons.
Yeah.
In which case, you might run into something that you can't handle, and you're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, like so stronger
or
Pokemon.
you might find cool early.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, in a weird way, it was going to make Pokemon more open world. It did not. It's one area that seems like an odd, mix match of jigsaw puzzles pieces, and it's disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Does it kind of feel?
It's rendered distance.
When you say if it's jigsaw puzzle pieces, I'm thinking do you think it's kind of like how you would expect if they were to basically Gen 8ify Gen 1, how you would see the Safari Zone working?
That's a good point. Yeah, I would say it's kind of just. I could say that. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
It's because I personally was misled by the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the trailers showed, a vast variety of areas shown by in the wild area.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this meant there was multiple wild areas, and that you would access them by essentially going off route of normal routes.
Yeah.
So when you enter the desert area, you could then leave the desert area and enter the wild area, where you can find the real crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not happen. Instead, it's this weird isolated section. Oh god! And the fact that the weather changes dramatically between one section of the wild area to the next.
Mm-hmm.
It could be hailing in one and then sunny and bright the next. That is stupid.
Yeah.
There is no excuse for that. It is awful.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that can really convince me that is just straight up stupid. Do better or else.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that. It's do better or else I'm leaving.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave us great gamers over the years. I will hold that to the chest and call myself done with Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I'm not one of those people that's just going to be like, I'm going to buy the game despite everything else.
Yeah.
You know, I bought Sword and Shield because, you know, I had faith in them and I was let down.
Okay. That new DLC
Yeah,
looks pretty cool though. The ones for the birds.
It does, and it does tempt me. I think this is an interesting step.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly talking about the next generation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I kind of dug my hole with Sword and Shield by buying the game,
Mm-hmm.
and that includes the DLCs.
Okay. Oh, so you bought the one that contains DLC as well?
I haven't bought it yet, but I'll admit that I probably will.
Okay.
Like, I'm not a hypocrite enough to go like, oh, I'm not going to play it because fuck Game Freak. No, I'm probably going to buy the DLCs. I'm probably going to play them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will my opinion change with some of the DLCs? We'll wait and see.
Okay.
But I'm going to say straight out, Gen 9 better prove itself as being better.
Well, what's something that you would what's something that you want out of Gen 9?
That's difficult. One, I would like to see, if not more Pokemon included, then I want to see a change to the sprites. We've had the same sprites for about a decade now. I'm it's been the same, and even though they look better, they're the same sprites.
Yeah.
So I want different sprites. I want Pokemon to have more personality to it. I want the animation smoother. I would have to highlight a certain thing. There's a few times where probably the famous example is in the post game. You see one of the legendary dogs turn around, and it's ridiculous. It's walking animation, but it just
rotates but it rotates in place.
Yes, that's unacceptable. That's not cool anymore.
Yeah,
do better.
Yeah,
or else.
I know what you mean. That's like something that you would expect from like the PS2 GameCube era.
Yes. So that shit needs to change now. If they show that happened, then I might be a sell-in for Gen 9, unapologetically.
Okay.
Again, they don't have to do much. They just need to do better, because it's difficult to not understand the arguments that they did not try. That they honestly did just kind of go, well, the fans are going to buy it no matter what.
Yeah.
So here's this piece of crap. I gave them my faith, and they let me down, so now they're going to have to prove this. And I hope I'm not alone in that statement.
Yeah.
Like, because once again, it was the best-selling Switch game. I think that was a lot of people that were hoping that this game was going to perform, and I'm one of those people that are going to say that it kind of didn't. I'm going to play the DLCs, and after that, my opinion is going to be finalized, whether Gen 8 was worth a shit or not, because I'm still going to hold the fact that I hate Gen 6.
Okay.
And it's for a very niche reason. It's because they did not have a Phase 2 game.
Oh, okay.
No one seems to care about that, but I do.
Gen 6 was X and Y?
X and Y.
Okay.
I played Pokemon X and Y. I enjoyed X and Y for what it was. But what it wasn't was complete.
Oh, okay.
And it did not have Phase 2 games to give that completion. Instead, it moved on to Gen 7.
Okay.
And I say that's fucking dumb. Gen 6 seems like a demo generation. There's no one that can really tell me different.
Yeah, so kind of like I understand exactly how you feel about that.
I like how we're playing Mario, but we're talking about Pokemon. But go ahead.
No, I know exactly. I have to check. I know exactly how you feel because I feel the same way with vanilla Persona 5. Like, and I know I've talked to you about this where I knew that with the whole upgrades to the graphics, upgrades to because the last console Persona game, like home console Persona game, was Persona 4 on PS2. Shoot, this is a bad shot. And then they made a new engine, and they made Catherine. That's all Catherine's point was for the team to get used to the. Was the whole point of it was to let the team get used to the new engine, and they made a great. You know, from what I understand, they made a great game. Let's do that. But when Persona 5 came out, I figured, okay, well, maybe, I knew that, like, okay, they completely overhauled the social links. They completely overhauled combat. They brought guns back, which haven't been seen in that capacity since Persona 2. Shoot.
Which is weird because, to be honest, Persona 3 was a good setting just to still have them.
Yeah, so like they had them. I don't know why I'm doing this. They had them for the they had them for the evokers. I guess was really the only one that you could say has guns because she's a robot.
She uses some kind of firearm.
Yeah. So I like how in the movies they gave her hands like her hands also a chain gun.
Yeah, they spin.
Yeah, they spin. I thought that was really cool. Even though I think if you're talking about getting to like the whole thing, I think you'd be kind of screwed up with the way just the way the human hand's set up.
Man, I'm glad you said that because I was about to
say the same thing.
This is because of my biology side coming through. Because I see it both in Q and in Persona 3 when she like uses it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like windows need to be significantly straighter.
Yeah. Well, not just straight, but like with the way the chain guns work, like they're kind of tied. Like the shooting part is tied to the rotation of the barrel.
Yeah.
So but you have that little gap. So I guess it could work. It would just be kind of weird, but like you'd minimize. But anyway,
it would need to be like a close range weapon. Anyway, we're over analyzing an anime robot girl's handgun.
Yeah. So anyway, but
yeah,
my
go ahead.
Yeah. So my whole point was, yes, there had to be something has to give, and in Persona 5 Vanilla, that was the story. The story kind of had to give out and be not neglected. The story's great as is, but it's just it wasn't. It felt rushed. It felt like it was just trying to the whole game was trying to tell its story, and the story almost seemed like kind of angry that you wanted to do stuff at night. You wanted you wanted to hang out with your friends. You wanted to do social links.
Yeah, it always kind of felt like there was a leech on you.
And Persona 5 Royal still has that to an extent, but the fact that they let you do stuff, sure, when you go to Mementos, you can't go out. Now you can if you get the massage from Kawakami. But just the idea of I understand I'm tired, but you can study, you can read a book, you could you can make infiltration tools, you can work out to upgrade your health.
Yeah.
All that was I think a great addition that really makes it the pacing a little bit better in my opinion. And it didn't have to do much. My hope, and I know Joe makes fun of me because I'm already talking about Persona 6, is I don't want them to do what they did with Persona 5 and 5 Royal, and it's just do Royal from the beginning now. Just add the stuff that you wanted added in.
So, would you want social links that only start after a certain key point in the story, even if that's like 45% of the way in?
I don't have like an inherent issue with that. My issue comes from the blocks. They block Haru where you need, I think, max kindness to do her social link. It's like, but you can get easily bogged down because in vanilla, because you can't do stuff at night when you go into mementos, it really limits what you can do. So when it's nighttime, and when I played Vanilla 5, and you can definitely see it reflected in what my social stats were in Vanilla compared to what they are in Royal. I only ever focused on my social stats when I needed to do a social link. So I'm like, okay, well, I need max charm if I want to hang out, if I want to finish Makoto's social link. So that's maxed out. I needed level 3 kindness to start Futaba. That's maxed out. I needed level 3 charm to start, or level 2 charm to start Hans. So I kind of focused on that. It's just kind of like things like that. It made it neat, more complicated, especially when you compare it to 4, which yes, 4 is smaller scale than 5. But like the fact that like you could read your books, because there's only, I think, one nighttime social link, maybe 2. I think the old lady's kind of weird. She's there for days that you don't have school. So holidays and Sundays is like the only day you can hang out with that lady. But like I think the nurse is the only nighttime social link. I never did the tower, so I think that was the kid you had to tutor. So I don't know if he's nighttime. Yeah. I don't think he's nighttime. I think he's just after school. But it's just kind of like, since the nurse was the only nighttime social link and I could only hang out there on certain days, it made it easier to read books. It made it easier to do my nighttime jobs of, folding paper cranes, to get those social stats up. Nanako and Dojima were nighttime social links as well. So three nighttime social links, but Nanako and Dojima are kind of like tied together. So you can't get further. So part of that was also tied to the story as well.
Yeah.
So like the nighttime social links were just a lot more manageable in Persona 4. I would like to see it kind of go back to Persona 3 in a way, because Persona 3 was really cool because you could only go to Tartarus at night when it was midnight. So what ended up happening is like when you still had nighttime social links, so you'd have to choose, like, do I do the social link or do I go to Tartarus? Which wasn't really that hard, especially in portables. Really easy because they did really nerfed the tire mechanic. But so it was, you'd go after school, and then you could go do a social link, and then nighttime came, and then you could either study, or you could go do a social link, or you could go to Tartarus. And I really like that you still have that option. So like if you want to do a social link, you can still go to the dungeon. I would like to see it kind of go back to that kind of route. That would kind of, and it seemed kind of weird that, like, why would I only be able to go, because you're going into the person's mind in 5. Now I could understand in 4 why they do that, like from story wise, like that's really all I ask, is if you're going to limit my ability to do something, have a good, like, it doesn't have to be like the best reason, but like it could be a story reason, and I'll be like, okay, I understand that. And the reason in 4 you can't go to the TV world at night is because Junes is closed, and you're not allowed in Junes at night, even if Yosuke's dad is the manager. So like I could get that. I could buy that, right? But in 5, it's like, wait, why am I limited? Because I'm going to the person's mind. Even if they would be like, no, the person has to be awake, like, for you to enter their minds for like the distorted desires, because that's like that's when those desires are like the strongest, is when they're awake, not when they're asleep. I could like something like that. I could be like, okay, I understand. But it seems kind of weird that you can't go into their minds at night either, because it's like, well, what's like? That doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, just I guess like the only reason I could think of is like it's like based on your friends' schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them can stay up past 11 o'clock at night
Uh-huh.
to help you, kill a shadow.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of interesting if they not necessarily brought back the tired mechanic, but I think you'd need more characters, so maybe that wouldn't be like the best. But I think it'd be pretty cool. Is like flesh the world out a little more. Like maybe some characters have certain schedules, so it's like, well, I can only go like during during non-breaks. I can only go on these days.
Cool.
That'd be interesting. I think that'd be a really interesting way of doing it. I think you'd also have to switch the party dynamic as well, and the way experience works.
That could be kind of cool. Like, you want to go into Mendoza on Wednesday afternoon. Well, only 3 people can go with you.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. As long as, but they'd have to implement from the start a Mishima social link ability, where the whole party gets experience, so you don't end up having an unbalanced party.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know. I guess that could be easy enough to laugh off to, where you just kind of realize like they get stronger when you all meet up again. It's like, oh yeah, this shadow can easily be killed with this strategy.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
I
cool.
don't. Yeah,
Okay.
like I don't really need like too many explanations for things, because I can handle. I think I can handle the difference between gameplay and story. So it's like, what's it matter that, what's it matter if Akechi kills me, because my friends will just use a revival beat on me. Although,
Oh, you mean like the difference between being defeated versus being just straight up dead?
yeah. Although I could also see, let me think about this. I think Persona 5 does a pretty good job of kind of, without expressly telling you why a revival bead would not work outside of the cognitive world, since maybe in the real world, since you can't bring people back to life, you kind of change cognition in that way, where these will bring us back in case we die in this in the cognitive world. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
so these items, except for the medicine you buy from Takemi, are only only work in the cognitive world because you guys kind of changed cognition in that way.
Well, it just kind of tells me it's like, invest in a home defibrillator where you land the mementos.
Also,
and you just use that on anyone and it's healed.
Also, I think it could just be like a poor writing that could definitely get around it. Like the revival bead, you're not dead, you're just knocked out, because the characters come back with 1 HP. It's like, no, they're not dead.
Revival bead is more like smelling salts.
Yeah. Like if they were just to rebrand revival bead as smelling salts, like, oh, okay.
Like an adrenaline shot, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, guys, say, how fucked up is it that your hobby includes you being hit with an adrenaline shot?
Yeah.
I always thought it was fucked up that I was kind of surprised to see it in Royal.
Mm-hmm.
That the fact that you, the player character, gets knocked out,
mm-hmm.
like, it is just a straight up end.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
You rely on your teammate. You should be able to play with your character knocked out and have your teammates be able to save you just as you would save them if they were knocked out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they kept that. That's really silly.
Mm-hmm. especially since you can play as the other party members.
Yeah, like
My only guess is my only assumption why they do that is because just of how kind of easy the battle system. The battle system's pretty simple, all things considered.
hmm?
Like the battle system is just pretty is just simple, all things considered. And you have to be either really unlucky or or kind of dumb to die in the game. Right? Hello? Right?
Sorry, it crashed. Can you repeat that?
Oh no, like for like the whole like battle system minus bosses. Bosses I would say are the exception. You have to be almost like you have to be like really complacent or dumb to die in like a regular battle. Either like really unlucky or complacent. And I guess like that, just having that be like the game over, kind of adds like a hey, like you just can't fast forward through all the battles. You gotta be careful because like some of the enemies do have those auto kill attacks, and if you have a persona that is weak to bless or curse, like well you're gonna die. Granted, they also give you the homunculus to kind of stop those, so that's cool. There you go back this way.
So, do you think they baby you too much?
No, I don't think it's no, I don't think they're babied in Persona 5 at all really. It's just a simple battle system. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with a simple battle system. Like I really don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think like it's one of those things that also, it's like one of those things like something's got to give. And if you're gonna make a game that's 140 hours long, maybe you don't want a brutal combat system. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that. It's kind of a bell curve to this.
yeah.
Because there's definitely a group of people that would be like, "Oh, this is too difficult for this," and leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's also definitely those people that are just like, "Ooh, they want to challenge me," and there's like, "I'll show you, game."
Well, I guess. Well, I mean, okay. So like, also at that point, that there's also that's the whole that also kind of ties into the difficulty settings as well. Like the battles are harder if you play on a harder difficulty. Like the enemies are going to have stronger attacks. They're going to be more on par with you. They might. I don't know if they have different move sets, but like they might be more aggressive. They might use more aggressive moves on you than they normally would.
Yeah, I get that. Difficulty settings has always been a weird subject with me.
Well,
because
yeah.
Because it kind of depends on how it's used.
Yeah, like Skyrim doesn't, and Skyrim, like the Bethesda approach, I don't think is very good. Where like, well, we just increase their attack and we make them
lower
sponges. Yeah, like we just make them sponges.
Like I hate that. Like it's got to be to the point where I cannot take it off of Adept because that's 1-to-1. And that sucks because I'm literally a god.
Yeah.
Like nothing is a challenge for me, especially how I play Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like, oh well, increase it to legendary. Well, I can't. Why would I turn myself into a physical and mental retard just to make the game hard to me?
Yeah.
Like what? Like why? Like, well, I'm literally relying on my overpowered enchanted sword to do the damage that I would normally do just by having one that's not enchanted at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that that's kind of dumb. But the classic example is like, so I recently played Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
I actually had to turn it down because I kind of started off too difficult for myself,
Okay.
and I was in like a, admittedly, I've seen a few YouTubers and stuff like struggle with this part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was in a boss. I wasn't in a boss fight. I don't know why I said that, but I was in a pretty big fight
Yeah.
that a lot of people struggle with.
Is it
just
the
because
Marauder?
of like how the well, just because of like the creatures that spawns in the fight and like how the battlefield is laid out.
I know what you're talking about. I watched Game Maker's Toolkit did a really interesting video on it.
And it's like it's in like the first couple levels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my point is I struggle with it, and I like spent like a solid probably 45 minutes on it before I was like I'm done. I'm going to turn down the difficulty one notch, and I'm going to see if that works.
Yeah,
and it did.
Mm-hmm.
And I played through the rest of the game on. I think it was basically normal. I started off on like hard.
Yeah.
Out of a scale that goes from easy to very hard.
Mm-hmm.
I said the hard at first, and I'm like I can't. I'm not keeping up, and so I said the normal, and then I beat the game on normal.
Yeah.
Even though it is a shame because I here's the thing about Doom, like you get better as you go.
Yeah.
So I honestly am confident in like, dude, honestly, if I step back to that difficulty and I went through it again, I'd beat like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Because I got better. Like I felt the flow better. Get what I mean? Like Doom is all about flow.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to explain, and that's why it's difficult when determining game difficulty, because it's just like, yeah, it's easy now because I'm practiced, and I have that special nene skills when it comes to dodging enemy attacks and hitting them with the super shotgun.
Yeah.
But it's not always that case.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Game difficulty has always been a hard concept because I understand the thing where it's like people don't want to put a lot of effort, so you have to have like the baby difficulty, and then there's the people that vary from like, oh, I want to suffer.
Yeah.
Like I have Superman's endurance. I will suffer hell's wrath just to beat this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people that are just like, look, dude, I work all day. I use this game to distress.
Yeah, like there's definitely a I'd say there's definitely a there's a fine balance you got to be, and I also think at the same time you've got to I get it, because like I'm definitely that way where like sometimes it's just like, man, I do not want to do whatever, like like I don't want to play a hard game right now, or like I just want to make some progress. And that's actually what I really liked about the Book of Demons, which I just beat today. At least the warrior portion, but I'm done with it because it's just I don't see a point in going. And they have an endless mode, which I think is really cool. But
well, that's a good point right there.
But what I really like about Book of Demons is the flexoscope. The fact that it lets you choose how long is this delve in the dungeon going to be, and that it balances. So even if you choose like the tiny game because you don't have a lot of time to play, it doesn't punish you for being like, oh, you don't want to commit to an hour-long dungeon crawl. Like, screw you. Like, no, it's like, it's a game that respects your time. And that's what I think a lot of games are kind of missing now, is they have zero respect for your time. I don't know.
I do think it's kind of like a two-side system there. Like,
yeah.
I think it's good when companies respect your time. Mm-hmm. But I do think people need to be self-aware of their time.
Yeah, so that's I totally agree with that too. I do believe that you have, like, I think it's nice when games respect your time, but at the same time you need to know, well, what genre am I playing? If I'm playing an RPG, especially a JRPG, well, you know what that entails. Like, I know what a JRPG entails. And so that's
Well,
why for my streams,
it makes yeah.
yeah, that's why for my streams for Persona 5 they were 8 hours long, because it was like, I'm not, if I play for 2 hours, I'm not getting anywhere in this
Exactly.
game.
Like that isn't a dent in mementos.
Yeah. Like,
And if you, God forbid, happen to struggle in figuring out the gimmick of a freaking palace. Yeah.
Because like at 2 hours, you know, because like, well, you know, for playing for 2 hours a night.
By the way, I am a good guy for not giving you shit for fucking jumping on that spike guy.
I try to jump over him.
Try to jump over him. Okay.
In the overworld, and then it forces you to jump on him.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I just looked down and saw you getting hurt. I'm just like, God, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you were saying, like, companies that spend your time versus people who.
So you have to know, like, I don't think, like, for example, like, I think difficulty settings are a good thing to have, just as a way to, like, kind of be flexible a little bit, and also in a way, at the same time, you know, kind of respect a player's time.
Yeah.
Because because you know, like, if you like to be like honest, it's like, well, sometimes like I don't. Sometimes you just like really want to play a game, but you don't have the time, and you're just kind of like, like I don't want to. I don't want to like spend like, cause like going back to Persona 5, right? Like 2 hour streams, the boss fights are consistently 1 hour long. Even the ones, like, not even counting Okumura, who I died to multiple times, but like even from the start, like Kamishita, Madarame, like they're all about an hour long boss fight.
Yeah.
I need to do a favor. Koopa tea. So, like, this
yeah.
That's like my kind of like my whole thing is, I like games that, like, I think the Flexoscope's a cool thing. I don't think the Flexoscope idea is something that can be implemented in every game, but for dungeon crawlers, that is awesome. That's like an amazing godsend, because right now at work, like, things are really slow, and Friday was extremely slow. Like, I had I had essentially nothing to do for 8 hours, so I just brought up Book of Demons, and then I would just do a bunch of small 15-20 minute long dungeon crawls in case something came up. Like, I could, you know, basically kind of get through it a little bit. So I would like to see that.
I get that.
I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but like that, the bug just got the dungeon crawling bug just bit me. Like, that's not a genre that I'm like usually into. But I don't know. I guess part of it too is there's pretty simple games. Like, they're not overly complicated. Like, you don't have to worry about like keeping track of a plot. You just play them. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But no, I just like that. And no, there's definitely I think one of the hardest balances to make is accessibility, which is different than difficulty. And I think it kind of like, because it kind of sucks, because like, think about like you got like one hand or something, but like maybe you really want to play Dark Souls, but you just can't. And in a way, at the same time, the Xbox adaptive controller kind of will assist you with that, which I think was just awesome. And honestly, if I was like in charge of Sony, I would totally like be in talks with Microsoft to get it to work on PlayStation. I'm not sure if it's limited to console, or if it just accepts it as like a USB. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure how controllers work, because I don't think I could plug in a PlayStation controller to an Xbox and it'll be like.
Well, I think Microsoft in particular, because I recall some of my college roommates using a Xbox controller just that happens to use a USB port. So I think Microsoft in particular is pretty good at making their controllers just a general controller that happens to work with USB.
Okay. So because I mean I don't know. It seems like to me like that seems just like automatic good PR, and you don't. It's not a fight that you have to make with Microsoft because, uh, like the statement I would make is this controller is extremely niche. It's expensive. Um,
Oh,
we're not.
I was about to say like the thing that would have to be included.
Mhm.
This thing better outlive humanity.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it's designed. Um,
This
uh,
shit better be durable.
I don't have a Koopa Leaf.
Run over by a tank, kind of a durable.
Yeah.
I am exaggerating, but my point is like, yeah, like I agree. Like when you buy one,
Mhm.
it better be the only one you need.
I'm pretty
And
sure it was. I'm fairly certain it's designed that way because when you look at the commercial and you kind of see like the people that are using it, like through no fault of their own, obviously, like but they're slamming on it. uh, so I'm pretty sure it's designed to like be sturdier than a traditional controller, like where it, dang it, where it's like you can be rough with it.
yeah, probably. I
But
think every controller should be throw resistant.
also, man, I gotta say, as 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 botched as this generation was for Microsoft and Xbox, they're already like
Mm-hmm.
they're for me like they're saying the right things, they're doing the right things for the next gen, and it really and I'm really happy about that. Like they've come out and they said uh, Xbox One controllers are going to work on Xbox Series X. There's no more like this dividing controller generations. So now now like already like when Halo comes out, you're already set for 4-player co-op if or for 4-player split screen if they have split screen. Just kind of like things like that. Like they're like being very forward thinking because controllers are expensive, and that makes me kind of at the same time, they're a business. How expensive are Xbox Series X controllers going to be?
Uh, I I am going to say you should be kind of I'm not going to say anything in particular because I know that you've been twisting my arm towards this,
Mm-hmm.
but even Ali wants the next PlayStation,
Uh-huh.
or at least wants to favor PlayStation. So I mean,
Hey, I'm gonna mute myself real quick, and I'm gonna mute
you
you as
okay?
well. back. Sorry about that. We have Chuck Kuzmo here. What is the color of the block you can break at the first hammer? Yellow.
Sorry, dude, I'm back.
That's cool. So I got it all figured out. What we were talking about.
Oh, okay, you figured out how to keep Nintendo happy?
Yeah. So this is the disclaimer that I wrote. Might as well just get that out of the way. Andrew does own stock in Nintendo, and the opinions regarding Nintendo games or consoles are mine and not representative of Nintendo. Also, Paper Mario was originally started prior to the purchase of the stock and stopped at the release of Persona 5 Royal. So, just want to put that out there.
Ah, shit, dude. Okay, well, fair enough. I need to get serious about investing. I know we talked about this before, but still.
Dude, I made one day's paycheck on Monday. I don't know what's going on, dude. You should see, like, if you look at my graph of, like, it's just, the highs are high and the lows are depressing, and I do very often think about jumping off buildings.
Oh, Jesus, Andrew.
Because some days are bad.
Still, just.
But once the stream's over, I got some stuff to talk to you about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
I need to get a Koopa leaf. No, I don't. Why did I come here? I have a Koopa leaf in storage. I didn't need to come all the way here. I didn't need to come all the way here.
I don't want. Yeah, I think we've been. That was good talk there. Was there anything on what we've been talking about lately that you wanted to spend on?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
You can see the game. Right?
I guess it's about time we actually focus on the goddamn game.
Yeah, I don't know why I came all the way to Koopa Village. I'm so stupid. Oh man, I made one of my coworkers. I made him so mad because he's also invested.
And what else is new, Andrew?
Well, yeah, but it's a funny way because I completely understand why he did what he did. It's just that I made him think about what that means for him, and now he hates himself. So, you know, he's a traditionally conservative guy, which is important to the story, not for politics reasons. But he had bought stock in a. Ryan, you good?
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
But he bought stock in a makeup company. And and the reason he did that is because they brought on Kylie Jenner, which, you know, is probably a good financial move. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, you're probably gonna get some money out of that deal. But then what I ended up telling him was, and just like that, you're forced to keep up with the Kardashians.
That's weird because it doesn't sound like a weird thing. It just kind of sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, well, like, it's just because, like, now you gotta watch the show. You gotta know what they're doing in their personal life to see, like, is this something that could negatively affect this company? Whatever dumb thing they're gonna say next. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
And what, he was sitting there going like, oh, I don't wanna?
He's just like, oh, it was more like, no, you're right. I was like, I hate you now for, like, making me realize what I have to do.
Okay, so it was more friendly.
Yeah, it was definitely friendly. It was not like an actual anger thing.
Oh, okay, I kind of misinterpreted. That's pretty funny. Oh, God.
I'll send you the message.
Oh, okay.
Just like kind oops. Alright, back to Koopa Village. And I'll send it to Discord.
Okay.
Oops, no, I'll send it through text. Shoot.
Okay. Whatever you feel is best here.
Shoot. Oh, right, watch this, watch this.
Woo! Bop!
Oh, man.
Yeah, so you only had like 1 health left, so you just can't use the basic attack.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. Because the Goombas have no defense. Because they suck.
Look at you. Using like the best strats possible. Alright, Andrew, time to do that 50 more times in order to get a nice level up. And the level grind.
I was going to grind levels off stream, don't worry about it. Let's do hammer throw. Koopa Village is this. Oh wait, there's
So what
something.
the fuck are you even doing right now?
I'm doing a favor.
Like,
For,
where?
I'm doing a favor for Koopa Coop.
Koopa Coop?
Yeah.
Thank you, Cooper. Now go the fuck away.
Now get back in my pocket.
Pull yourself up and do a nice corner inch bit, and let's keep going.
Oops. Here's your cup of tea, old man. I got 3-star pieces.
Ooh, that's nice.
Let's see, I have serious wish to get the Great Luigi's autograph. I heard Luigi. Wait. That young fella is truly super. Have you seen him jump? They should call him Air Luigi. If you could somehow get his autograph, I'd be really happy. Could you help me, young fella? Okay. Well, he's my brother.
Tell him, quick, sign this paper, and tell him without the reason why.
Yeah.
Last thing we need is him realizing he has fans. You'll always be the sidekick.
You will be the sidekick.
Nice. Man, this sucks. Now I can't give you shit about sucking.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna no. I have a hard time with the bosses.
Andrew, why would you tell me that? Like, why would you be like, oh, well, you can't. Well, you don't have to stop giving me shit. There's still some situations where I suck.
Because I don't want you to feel bad. I don't like my friends feeling
Feel
bad.
bad?
I don't like my friends feeling disappointed that they can't do something.
Wow, well, aren't you a fucking saint?
You're welcome, Ryan. I'm dying for your sins.
Well, I guess you were literally Jesus in that one play.
Yep. In that church camp. So you basically have to do whatever I tell you.
Sure, that's true. I was just the douchey asshole that was basically a sin.
Your sin. You are literal sin.
I was literally a sin.
Oh, man. Shoot.
I was basically just pride and arrogance.
I'm pretty prideful.
Won't lie, I have a lot of pride. I'm basically asking them. I just realized you probably never watched 7 Sins, huh?
No.
That's a shame.
We'll get to it eventually.
It's on the list because I made sure it was there. But
I can't wait for Joe to break the next tiebreaker between Grave of the Fireflies and whatever the next thing is.
So, what do you think? Do you think we'll actually be good and actually have Great Fireflies be like a priority, or do you think we're just going to keep kicking the can down the road?
I think we're just going to keep kicking the can down the road.
We don't want to watch this.
To be fair, it's kind of like a heavy first thing to to get into.
Well, okay. Did I hear you right? You never watched it?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
You never seen it, and I have. And I'm just like,
Look at
no,
Luigi.
not again.
Look at Luigi, dude. He's just whistling. I'm so glad the Mario and Luigi series exists. 'Cause Luigi has a partner. Like, I wish they could combine, not like how they did it in how they did it in Paper Jam, but like it was just Paper Mario, but you had the like, or it was Mario and Luigi, but you still had like this. You still had Luigi, like, and they spoke to each other like they do in Paper Mario.
Well, someone raised an interesting point. And it's that Luigi went on his own adventure during Thousand Year Door.
Oh yeah, that's
And that it'd be cool if they ever decided to remake Thousand Year Door to actually have Luigi's adventure be part of it, or just so that you could do optional.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like one thing there, but yeah, poor Luigi.
Yeah. Look at Luigi's autograph. Back to Koopa Village.
I will spiral my entire way there.
Oh no.
Ah, Andrew, come on.
It's fine. Everything's okay. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to look at here.
I'm not worried about you dying or anything. It's just like, how the fuck did you get hit by that?
Because I'm a dummy. A big old fat dummy.
Oh, come on, Andrew. You're not. You're definitely a fucking dummy, but that's besides the point.
Now I gotta go back to that old man.
Where's your old man?
Koopa Coop.
Koopa Coop?
Oops.
Oh, that's right. He wanted the autograph.
Mm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go silent real quick.
Okay. Shoot. That was two of them. Oh, don't stand up. Oh, we stood up. Here's your autograph, old man. Ooh, 1 coin. Alright, no more favors for him. So let's head back over to Dry, or to Mount Rugged? Not Mount Rugged. Mount Rugged, I guess. Oh my god, no! It's a long way back to Toad Town. Is this similar to Calamari Desert from Mario Kart 64? Alright, well this is where we're gonna... Yeah, Mount Rugged. This is what we're gonna call it. Since you'll hit our...
Oh, Jesus. Sorry, dude. I got busy there towards the end.
It's cool, no problem. So just come back tomorrow. Same time. And we're gonna finish... not finish, but we're gonna continue up Mount Rugged to make our way to Dredge, our outpost, and also to get Parakarry, who's a pretty cool character. Anything to say before we go, Aaron?
Sadly, no. I got kind of wrapped up with things, so I just hope everyone well.
All right. See you.